All right, everyone, it is 4:30, so we are going to get started. Hi, everyone. My name is Malaya Florendo, and I'm the trainer with RX Safe Del Norte. And thank you for joining us for this workshop today. Today, we'll be going over mindfulness for chronic pain and addiction with our presenter, Karilily. And we just want to remind everyone that we are live on Facebook right now. And if you do reply in the comments, we will have someone monitoring so that if you have a question or you want to respond, they can help respond to you. We do want to remind you that there is about a 45-second delay, so it may take us a second to see your questions or comments. So it may take a second and you'll just have to be patient, and our monitor will try and get back to you as soon as possible. And yeah, I want to thank everyone for joining us today. This is our second day of the RX Safe Del Norte and other local opioid coalitions Wellness and Recovery Series Summit, day 2. And we're just really enjoying having everyone, and it's going great. So thank you all for being here. We do want to remind those on the Zoom, if you could please keep your video off and muted unless you have a question or a comment, and we'll have someone call on you to unmute and or take off your video. There will be some areas where our presenter may ask you to respond with questions or comments. And if you would like to answer those, you are welcome to put something in the comment section of the Facebook Live and the Zoom. And you're also welcome to raise your hand and we'll call on you for your turn. So thank you, everyone. And I, again, want to welcome our presenter, Karilily, for the mindfulness and mindfulness presentation today. So thank you. Karilily, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, thank you, Malia. Hi, everyone. My name is Karilily, and I am a wellness practitioner. I have been working in the wellness world. Some call it an industry, but I don't like that terminology. I've been working in the wellness world for almost 13 years now, and I got my start. We're all at home working from home, so bear with me. I got my start in this industry world of wellness through discovering, healing different traumas and personal things I've gone through in my own life. And I ended up discovering that it had a very deep, profound spiritual impact beyond just healing trauma, as it's all connected, you know, our physical, our mental, and our spiritual. And so these practices have brought me so much more availability in dealing with challenging parts of life in a way that allows me to be more present so I can catch my own blind spots, which helps so much with dealing with pain, with addiction, dealing with urges, dealing with the emotions that come up, things that arise when we're dealing with different challenges in our lives. And chronic pain is what we'll be addressing today, as well as opioid addiction and recovery. So today we're going to take you through a bit of a sequence that ideally I'm hoping, if you're feeling it, it's something that you can bring home with you and keep for what I call your spiritual toolbox. So it's a tool that you'll have to take with you when experiencing any of the following things we discussed that we'll be covering today. So that's just a bit about what we're doing today.
Awesome. Thank you for introducing yourself. We're so thankful to have you here today. So give me one moment. Before we get started, I do want to go over some of the group agreements we will have here in the presentation today for those joining us. We just want to remind everyone that respect and kindness are key. Please be respectful in this presentation, and please be kind and just come at it with some good feelings, and yeah, just mind our manners. And we do want to remind everyone, if there is no respect or kindness, we may have to remove you from the meeting. Please show tolerance and sensitivity for differences. Remember, participants in the group come from different cultural, racial, gender, and sexually oriented backgrounds. So please be aware and sensitive to judgmental comments, and use positive language, and stay away from using racial, homophobic, and degrading remarks. This is a safe space, and we are free of judgment. It's okay to disagree with someone else's point of view, but please don't put each other down for it. And this is a space where we want people to feel comfortable and be themselves and share their thoughts and ideas without worry, punishment, or judgment. We also want to remind everyone who may share stories that if you are sharing personal information, to leave specific names out of it, out of respect for people in the stories. And you can say, I know someone who, are using name aids in the spread of rumors, and it detracts from the point of the information trying to be communicated. So just please, again, respect and kindness, respect other people's identities. Remember, we are on Facebook Live, and we just don't want to disrespect anybody if they are in your stories. And remember to ask for clarification if you don't understand. You're totally welcome to ask questions in the comments, and there may be a section where you can ask questions directly. And in that case, again, you'll raise your hand or put a comment in the comment section. And just don't be afraid to ask questions if you don't understand information provided. And we also want to remind everyone that in these workshops and activities, that they may bring up some traumatic feelings or some concerns or emotional feelings. And if you need to reach out to somebody, please contact someone. We do want to provide a more professional number to call, such as the mental health for Del Norte number, which is 707-464-7224. And there's also the 24-hour crisis services available. And just please remember that to take care of yourself, and if you're feeling some way and you need to reach out to someone, reach out to them. We also want to acknowledge the land we're on today, and that we're meeting on virtually across the lands of many Indigenous peoples, such as the Tallawah Dene, the Yurok, Karuk, Hupa, Wiyot, and many rancherias such as Elk River, Resagini, Big Lagoon, Trinidad, Blue Lake, Table Bluff, and Ronerville. The Indigenous peoples who lived together and cared for this land and each other since time immemorial. We honor with gratitude the land itself and the people who have been the stewards of this land for generations. We know the effects of colonization have impacted Indigenous peoples disproportionately. We hope that through this series we can learn together to help heal and work towards a healthy future. All right. So now again, I want to present Karilily today, and I want to give you the floor whenever you're ready.
All right. Thank you so much for that opening, and it's so important to honor and respect the land that we're all on. So with that being said, that is where we'll start. We will do, or it will be encouraged to do some sharing. You don't need to share with your voice. You can share through the chat. As Malia and Jermaine have said, if you're chatting on Facebook, you can put your comments in and someone will be there to facilitate your comments to me. If you'd like to use your voice, please just press the raise hand option or put it into the chat box so we can hear your voice. I've found that sharing can give us a deeper, profound effect of each other's experience as we're creating a safe, confidential container here together. So I encourage you to, within our guidelines that Malia read, I encourage you to share your experience if you feel so called to do so. Again, I'd like to be very clear that it's not mandatory to share, but encouraged. So at any point in time, feel free to put your comments or questions in the box. Before we get on to any sharing, we're going to start with an opening grounding meditation. So if you could please close your eyes, as long as you're not driving an automobile right now or operating any machinery. So ideally, if you could sit down in your seat or lie down wherever you're at, close your eyes. Go ahead and take a couple of deep breaths where you can exhale, sighing out of your mouth. See if you can let go of any to-do list, any activities you were doing today, anything you were already engaged in, or anything you have going on after our meeting together. And it takes a moment to calm the busy mind, so be patient with yourself. And if other thoughts come in other than what we're talking about right now, or distractions from wherever you're at come into your mind, that's okay. We are human and we are all just learning these tools and techniques of meditation and wellness, and ultimately to be present. So it's taking a moment to be in silence and feel your body. And today as a group, we're addressing chronic pain. So you may obviously be feeling some discomfort or pain in your body, or maybe not. There's no right or wrong answer here. Let's just take a moment and feel into your body. I'd like you to also take a moment to feel into your body if you feel areas of comfort, possibly the position you're seated in, possibly where your hands are resting on your body. If you do have thoughts coming into your mind, just take a moment to acknowledge them, where they're coming from, what subject they're surrounding. And at this time, I ask you to give yourself permission to let all thoughts besides what we're going to focus on here today in our workshop together. If you can give those thoughts permission to just gently move aside, you can come back to them later. We're not letting go of them completely. We're just saying, thoughts, please give me permission to let my brain focus on what I'm here to do, which is engage in wellness, engage in healing, and working towards a healthy future. Please go ahead and place one hand on your stomach, one hand on your heart, keeping your eyes closed or your gaze down towards the earth, down towards the floor. And we'll just pause here for a moment in silence, seeing if you can feel your heartbeat below your palm. Feel your belly fill and release air as you naturally inhale and exhale, ebbing and flowing, just like the tide of the ocean as the waves roll up and back out. It's the same with your breath, your natural inhale and your natural exhale. And now gently switch your hands. So whichever hand was on your belly, now put it on your heart. And whichever hand was on your heart, put it on your belly. And same thing, eyes closed or gaze down to the earth. Just feeling your body, feeling the sensations of breath moving through your belly, your lungs, and your chest. Possibly feeling your heartbeat below your palm of your hand. And we'll take this in a moment of silence. And slowly go ahead and release your hands. Keeping your eyes closed or your gaze on the earth, now we'll focus on your feet. If you're lying down, go ahead and bend your knees so your feet are flat on the surface that you're lying on. Pressing your feet into the earth now. If you're in a chair, making sure you're sitting up nice and tall. Again, eyes closed. It's very important. This helps us to free ourselves from any outer distractions in the room around you or possibly thoughts flowing through your own mind. So press your feet into the earth, and I want you to picture your feet in the shape that they are, which is similar to a triangle. Your big toe being the top corner of that triangle. Press your big toe into the earth. Keeping that pressure, add your pinky toe being the other corner of the triangle. Excuse me, rectangle. Now we're going to add the outer heel and inner heel, representing the bottom two corners of that rectangle. Pressing your feet into the earth. See if you can feel the energy of the earth below your feet. If this is a new concept for you, just feeling the energy, the life, the pulsation of earth. And if you don't feel that, you can allow yourself to visualize what energy of the earth might look like. You can use your imagination and get creative here. So we'll pause in silence for a moment to just see what you come up with on your own as you explore the energy below your feet of earth. And now, keeping this pressure of your feet into the earth, I'd like you to visualize roots. So if you imagine a tree, one of your favorite trees, and if you don't have one, just pick any tree, the first tree that comes to your mind, and visualize how these roots come out of the trunk of the tree into the earth to create a strong foundation so that tree doesn't fall down. The roots grow deep into the earth, holding that tree grounded to the earth. I want you to visualize these roots growing out of your feet, grounding you into the earth. And as you ground yourself into the earth, we are literally grounding our energy. You may start to feel a sense of calm if you weren't already. Your mind may start to slow down. The distractions ideally start to fade away as you become more present, more mindful into this moment. As you continue to visualize your roots through your feet, we're going to now add in your breath. Take a nice deep inhale through your nose and fill up your body as much as you possibly can, like you're filling up a balloon. And just before that balloon is about to pop, pause. Pause, full of breath, and then slowly exhale out of your mouth with a sound. And we all breathe 24/7 as humans. From the moment we exit the womb of our mother until our last breath in this life, we can hold our breath, that's true. But one thing we know is in order to live, we need to continually inhale and exhale. However, we don't always consciously breathe. When we consciously breathe, we are actually bringing more oxygen in and releasing even more CO2. This literally causes the brain to slow down. This causes the heart to slow down. This releases tension in our muscles. It can release tension in the spine, the neck, the jaw, the brow, muscles of the arms and legs. And simply all you're doing is lengthening your inhale and lengthening your exhale. So we'll go ahead and do that together for several rounds of breath. If you're new to this sort of breath work, it can take time to increase the length of your inhale and your exhale. So just be patient with yourself. It's just like anything else. It's just like when you go running. At first, you can only run so far, but when you begin to practice, you can slowly run further and further every day. So the same is true with your breath work. So focus now on your body like a balloon. As you inhale, fill up your balloon. Fill it completely as full as you can, sipping in just a little bit more air. And then exhale through your mouth. And I want you to exhale completely until you have no more air in your body. And you can even take your hands and push your belly in. And you might even see that there's just a little bit more air that could exit your body. You want that balloon to be completely empty. So we'll go ahead and do that 6 entire rounds. And it's okay if your mind starts to wander, but if it does, please bring your mind back to the visualization of the balloon filling up with air completely, as full as you can. And then exhaling completely, releasing all of the air in your body. And as you exhale, see if you can soften your jaw. Make sure you're not clenching your teeth. Check that your shoulders are melting down and away from your ears. Remembering to press your feet, visualizing those roots into the earth. So that's with your exhale. Soften the muscles, the jaw, shoulders. Press your feet into the earth. Continue breathing just like that. Now as you inhale, I'd like you to lift up through the top of your head as though there were a string pulling your head up towards the sky. Lift up, lifting your heart up towards the sky. So again, as you inhale, you lift the top of the head and the heart, filling your balloon as full as you possibly can. And then when you exhale, remember you're softening. We're releasing any rigidity that we're holding on to in the body as much as we possibly can. Grounding through the feet. Beautiful. So this is the opening of our grounding meditation. If you find your mind wandering, come back to your breath, inhaling full and complete, filling up the balloon, lifting your heart. And on the exhale, softening any areas of tension that you notice you're holding. We start to realize we hold tension in quite a few places that we don't need to. And as you exhale, give yourself this chance to slow down and notice where you hold rigidity, where you hold stress, where you hold unnecessary tension in your body as you exhale. So that's all you have to do right now is inhale full, exhale completely, pressing your feet into the earth, sitting up nice and tall. And again, if you're lying down, that's an option too. You're just lengthening your spine. Same thing as if you were sitting up. So I'm going to go ahead and take you through a guided meditation. Eventually, with more practice and meditation, and there may be some of you here who have already done this, you find that you don't need a guided meditation. The more you practice, you can just drop right into this place of calm, this place of tranquility, this place where we find more ease for our body and mind simply through being present. This is what we call mindfulness. Using your mind, creating a fullness that acknowledges you, your body in this present moment, honoring this gift of life by connecting with the earth, feeling your breath, slowing down, feeling your heart, giving yourself permission to let go of all the thoughts, letting go of the emotions, letting go of any fear or judgment of yourself or others. In this space, it's safe. It's safe to let those things set aside and allow yourself to be here in this living, breathing temple of your body, woven together with the powerful consciousness of your mind, connected through your breath. So long as you're breathing, your spirit, your soul, whatever personal beliefs or words you use for that divine essence, which we call life, is connected to your body, this living, breathing physical temple made of molecules and cells, organic matter. So long as you're breathing, these two are connected, the physical to the spiritual to the conscious realm. Again, acknowledging this is essentially the art of mindfulness. As you press your feet into the earth, visualize your roots growing deeper, deeper into the earth, allowing you to be safe and grounded. Strong like a tree, whichever tree you visualize that you are, your roots are so deep into the earth that not even the strongest wind, the biggest rainstorm, or even the brightest burning wildfire can knock you down because your roots are solid. As you bring your roots deeper into the earth, you begin to hear the sounds of nature around you. You hear the other trees around you rustling in the wind, possibly several types of bird songs in the distance. As you look up, you see the sky. There are some clouds in the sky and a light breeze. And as you look up, you take a moment to acknowledge the infinite vastness of the sky, meaning there are no walls, no barriers, no boundaries. To our knowledge, we have no idea how infinite this sky is, if it ends or where it ends, how long it goes on. And you take a moment to acknowledge how this sky is just like your mind, your consciousness. There are no barriers, there are no walls, there are no limits. You can think whatever it is you can imagine. The only barriers and walls are those which we choose to place in our mind. So as you continue to look at the sky, you notice white clouds floating by with the gentle breeze. And you realize that these white clouds represent thoughts. If the sky represents your mind, these white fluffy clouds represent the thoughts that float into our mind. And we live in a busy world in this modern day. Our minds are taught to be busy with constant distraction or TVs or commercials, the busyness of work, the hustle, the bustle. But when we come into this place of mindfulness, we can pause from all of that. Even if the hustle and bustle of life is going on around us, mindfulness teaches us that we can tap into this place through visualization, through grounding, through breathing, and experience this softness, this tranquility, and this sense of connection simply through being. So as we move forward in this guided meditation, visualizing your mind as the infinite blue sky, and you see these thoughts float in. Possibly you have your own thoughts floating in right now about things other than what we're doing right here and now. And again, that's okay. Just like the sky has the clouds float in, the sky also has the clouds float by until they're out of our vision. So as these thoughts come in, picture them like clouds with the light breeze. Slowly, eventually, these clouds blow out of your vision, out of your awareness. Slowly, these thoughts that come in flow out of your awareness of your mind, allowing you to become present as you fully inhale, expanding your body like a balloon, filling with oxygen, breathing in through your nose, and exhale. As you exhale, you soften all of your muscles towards the earth, towards your roots that you're planting through your feet into the earth, as you visualize yourself like that strong tree. And now you bring your awareness to the stream or river you hear in the distance. As this strong tree, you've acknowledged the other plants around you, you've acknowledged the sky and the clouds. And now we're listening for the trickle of a stream, or possibly in your mind, it's more of a raging river. See if you can hear the sound of moving, rushing water. And if you can't quite hear it because visualization and meditation are new to you, or your mind is feeling more full of thoughts today, that's okay. With practice, we can hear these things more. And what this water, the sound of the river or stream that you're hearing or practicing hearing represents today is cleansing your mind from any urges or emotions that are not serving your most high intention of healing and working towards a healthy future. This water is healing. This water literally washes out any toxins from your body that you can imagine, whether they're from ingesting something or unhealthy foods or unhealthy habits or emotions. The sound of this water represents clearing that from your body. Just like washing dirt off of your body to cleanse your skin, in the same exact way, you can visualize this rushing river or this trickle of a stream cleansing your body as you ground your feet into the earth, as you continue to breathe full like a balloon and completely exhaling. as you continue to allow the thoughts or distractions of the mind float through the sky of your mind like clouds until they're no longer in your awareness. See if you can literally experience in your mind what it is that you need to wash yourself clean of in this moment. Possibly it's pain. Possibly it's uncomfortability in your own skin. Possibly an emotion. Possibly it's a habit or pattern that you'd like to let go of. Possibly it is a type of food that you'd like to stop putting into your body because you know it doesn't make you feel good. Possibly it's a substance that you put in your body that you would like to let go of. There's no wrong answer here, and the answer that is right is what comes up for you. Again, your mind, like that sky, is infinite. You can imagine whatever it is that you would like to visualize, and at the same time, it's completely intimate and confidential just to you and your mind space. You only have to share what it is you choose to share, and in this meditation, I encourage you to open up to yourself. Be completely real and transparent about what it is that you want this river or this stream to clean out of your body as you remain grounded and connected. And if feelings arise of uncomfortability, of letting go of that which does not serve you, it can be hard. It's just like pulling off a Band-Aid. Come back to your roots. The visualization of your roots into the earth are what keep you grounded and safe. Your breath is what calms your heart and your brain waves. And if your mind is still busy with thoughts other than this meditation, visualize them like clouds and watch those thoughts blow away with the breeze, just as the white clouds do in the blue sky. And sometimes the rush of the river or the trickle of the stream is enough to cleanse our bodies of what it is we want to let go of. But sometimes we experience stronger pain, stronger emotions, stronger things that we are ingesting that we know we need to let go of, but we need a little bit more support. And in these times, you can visualize that cloud turns gray. All of a sudden, the blue sky cannot be seen anymore, and it turns to a dark gray cloud cover. And this cloud cover is positive. This cloud cover is protecting you like a blanket. And this cloud cover becomes heavier and heavier until the most pounding rains start to pour from these clouds. And this rain is intense. This rain is incredibly cleansing. This rain drops on every part of your body, your mind, your soul, offering cleansing, rejuvenation, freshness. This rain is here to support you in releasing pain as it arises. This rain is here to support you in releasing emotions that are not serving you to be present. This rain is here to support you in releasing thoughts that do not serve your ultimate well-being mentally. This rain is a tool, just like visualizing your roots to stay grounded. This rain is a tool, just like picturing the sky, to represent your mind free from boundaries or walls, to release habits and patterns. This rain is a tool, just like visualizing the clouds that represent the busy mind, distractions, outer chaos of the world, that allow you to visualize these clouds floating by with the breeze until they're out of your awareness. This rain is a tool to support your well-being, just like visualizing the river or the stream to cleanse and heal and allow you to remove that which does not serve your highest well-being mentally, physically, and spiritually. This rain is just like the tool of your breath. As you inhale full and complete, allowing as much air as you can to come in, and then equally releasing that air all the way back out until you're holding no air in your body for just a moment, to calm your nervous system, to help release endorphins, to give you this sense of connection to life as you breathe through your beautiful gift of your body, your life, your vitality, your divine essence. This breath reminds you that you are more than we may often realize. You are a gift with a heart beating in your chest, a functioning brain in your mind, a living, breathing, moving temple of skin and bone, muscle, connected with this beautiful divine essence of your spirit, your soul, or whichever words you use to represent that which we cannot see, but we feel. Your soul, your spirit, your breath, your mind, and your body together are what we call this life. When we slow down, we ground, we center, we breathe, we visualize, we become present. This is mindfulness. And this tool of mindfulness, you can use it anytime. You can use it at work, at home, in public. Just stand or sit or lie, feel your feet on the earth, feel your body as this living, breathing temple. Take several deep breaths and visualize any one of the things that we just took a journey on in this forest, from the sky to the clouds, to the fullness of your inhale and exhale, visualizing the tree, the breeze, the river or stream, or possibly the pounding rain and the blanket of clouds protecting you. All of this is here as tools to remind you that you are supported. And while this is just a supplement to whatever else you do to support your chronic pain, any addiction or recovery program, this is something that comes from within. And while it's nice to hear someone guide you through a meditation, this is something you can also cultivate within yourself through just simply pausing, being, breathing, visualizing. So we'll take a moment in silence as you feel your feet growing roots into the earth, as you continue with your balloon filling breath, balloon releasing exhale, as you continue to acknowledge the infinite vast blue sky of your mind. And if the clouds float through, let them continue passing on until they're out of your awareness, while listening to the water in whichever way it comes to you, a stream, a river, rain, possibly an ocean or even a pond. And we'll stay here in silence for about a minute and see if you can give yourself permission to really be present for just 1 minute, 60 seconds with this visualization and this breath work. And now that just 1 minute has passed, I'd like you to take a moment to think about what it would feel like to add this into your life daily for at least 1 minute. Possibly when you wake up or before you go to bed. Possibly when you're in a moment of intense pain or emotions arising. Possibly when things are just completely calm and you have a moment to yourself. There's no wrong time to implement this visualization of mindfulness. And if it's something that felt good to you, I encourage you to see in the next 30 days if this is something you can bring in. Today is July 1st, so that's a great time to start. See if for the next 30 days you can bring in 1 minute of mindfulness and see how that helps whatever is going on for you in your life, whatever brought you to attend this space, to increase the wellness, to heal and work towards a more healthy future. And gently, you can go ahead and open your eyes. Take a moment, just kind of wiggle your hands, wiggle your fingers and toes, rock your head side to side. Take a nice deep breath. And so that was, my friends, a mini version of a mindfulness meditation. I am not sure exactly how well-versed or aware in our group is here today of mindfulness and meditation. So I was kind of giving a very mini version to introduce everyone or reintroduce everyone into mindfulness and its benefits. This 1 minute suggestion to practice daily can be a bit of a task, to be honest. I have to remind myself to meditate daily. Life gets busy, you know, and 1 minute seems like nothing, but it's so much of a benefit that I don't like to guarantee, but I can say very strongly that it will change the way your brain works in response to whatever it is that brought you to meditating. So for example, we'll say chronic pain and how we deal with it. You know, chronic pain is intense. I've worked with many groups about chronic pain, and while we can't always make the pain go away with mindfulness and meditation, we can teach our brains how we respond to that, whether we want it to increase stress or anxiety or whatever the pain brings up for you. Irritability is what it brings up for me. The breath work actually calms our brain, calms our nervous system, and reminds us to be present. And while that doesn't make the pain go away, that allows us this sense of a positive control in dealing with how we respond to when it comes up. So that being said, if you are feeling it, I encourage you to try to do this for 1 minute, even 30 seconds. I mean, if something's better than nothing, you know, and if you miss a day, don't be hard on yourself and say, oh, I gotta quit. Just say, okay, I missed yesterday or the day before, and I'm gonna give myself this gift of being present and just see what happens, because it builds on itself. So there's actually a really interesting fact that some of you may or may not be aware of, but when I learned it, it was just kind of like it was mind-blowing. When you take a deep inhale, have you ever noticed when you're in a stressful situation, or kids are wilding out, or someone's being really annoying, or you're having a hard day at work, and we go, you know, or maybe not the eye roll, but take a deep sigh, you know, we all do that. And what that is about is when you inhale, everyone put your hands on your lungs here. When you inhale really full, do you feel how your lungs expand like we were talking about in the balloon? So when your lungs expand like that, that only happens when you take a deep inhale. When we're just doing our natural breathing, the inhale, the exhale to stay alive, the lungs don't expand that big. So when you take the dramatic inhale, like I was having you do for the meditation, or when you're stressed out, right? Like I just said, what happens is there are these muscles in between each of your ribs called intercostal muscles. And when those muscles stretch from a deep inhale, whether it's consciously like we were just doing in meditation, or if it's subconsciously because of stress, what happens is those muscles stretch and your nervous system directly sends a message to your brain that says, relax, release cortisol, increase endorphins. So That's why our bodies are much smarter than we realize sometimes, why we take that deep inhale when we're stressed out or in a challenging situation or even in pain. Yeah. Maybe some people have experienced that in pain where you're, or we hold our breath, which is the complete opposite. When we hold our breath, we hold in rigidity, we hold in stress, we build more cortisol, which causes us to have latent dysfunctions such as anxiety, the inability to sleep. So just practicing that breathing, even if that 60 seconds I'm encouraging you to do over the next 30 days, or even just trying it for a few days, to be honest, just give it a shot. It teaches your body to release cortisol buildup. It teaches your body to soften muscles, which, as we all know or may have heard of, if you don't experience yourself, anxiety is a tightening in the chest or wherever you hold it. It teaches us to soften that. So really just doing the breath work, if you couldn't remember all the visualization part, or if meditating was a little more challenging of the mind, just at least breathe, visualize the balloon. Another tool that really helps is in the visualization, if the balloon wasn't floating your boat, you can visualize your body as a clear glass. So the top of your head would be the rim of the glass. The bottom of your feet would be the base of the cup, right? So I have a cup right here. So here's the top of your head. Here's the soles of your feet. You can be sitting down or standing up. But when you inhale, visualize the bottom of your feet. So we can all try this together. Press your feet into the ground. If you're lying down, just visualize the bottoms of your feet. Completely exhale, everybody. Get it all out. Push your belly and begin to inhale. And you're going to visualize the air going up from the soles of your feet to your knees, your thighs, your hips, your belly, your chest, your shoulders, your throat, and your head. And then we're going to exhale, same thing. We're going to pour it right back out of that cup. Exhale all the way down, chest, belly, hips, legs, knees, bottoms of the feet. So you're visualizing filling the cup and then emptying the cup. Another thing some people do is count. So when you're new to this breath work, you might only be able to, your whole inhale might just be 3 counts, but ideally you work up to 10 to 12. So it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. And the same with your exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you have a tendency to have a busy mind, which most of us Westerners do, the visualization is huge in really remaining present, and you'll find that time starts to fly by, and 1 minute becomes 2, 2 minutes becomes 5, 5 minutes becomes 20, and that's how meditation works. So it's just like I said in the beginning, it's like going jogging. At first, unless you're just a natural born runner with great cardio health, it takes time. It takes time running and building up that endurance. So it's the same with your breath work. Even though we're breathing all day long, it takes time to build your lung capacity to inhale that deep and to exhale, especially if you're a smoker. Especially if you're a smoker, it can take time, but it's only going to benefit your lungs and actually get them to be more healthy. If you don't smoke, you might feel that you can actually inhale and exhale at quite a bit. A lot of my clients tell me they didn't realize how shallow their breath was until they started doing this, and how calming just breathing is. So with that being said, I would like to open the floor for sharing. Again, you are not required to share. However, I very much encourage it. You can share in the comments box. You can share with your voice. I believe our Malia said that if you just click in the chat box, is that right? Yeah, click in the chat box. You can also speak on our Facebook platform, or you can press the raise hand option here, which I don't see on my end, but I know it's there. I know it's there. And what we're sharing on is, what was that meditation like for you? And if you're like, I didn't feel anything, that's okay. Like I said, there's no wrong answer. I'm just curious what came up for people, and what worked for you and what didn't, or if you have any questions.
So there are a couple questions in the chat, so maybe we can start there and let people catch up a little. So Tina wanted to know, do you ever do private sessions via Zoom or have recorded meditations available because she would like to practice?
Awesome. Yeah, that's a great question, Tina. Thank you. So until this pandemic, I did not have Zoom sessions, but I sure do now. That's actually how I'm meeting with everyone. I have a free to the public class that's actually more movement based on Sundays at 11 a.m. I can figure out how to share that information, or if I can't do it during this session, I could give it to your hosts here to share. That's every Sunday, and it's free to the public. You know, donations are accepted but not expected. And actually, I've been giving all proceeds to Black Lives Matter, different movements going on right now to support the movement. So that's on Sundays, and that's an hour and a half, and it's a lot of breath work and meditation with movement also. But because you're in your own home and it's on Zoom, you can do as much of it or as little of it as you like. So that's a good way to kind of see a little bit more what I'm about and make sure I'm a right fit for you. But one-on-one is actually my preference. So I can share my contact information, and to answer your question, yes, I very much so do private sessions, and that's what I have found has the most profound effects, because we can really work one-on-one with what exactly it is that we're doing this for. And I have recorded meditations. I will be honest with you, they're not super professional. They're very much, I'm very freestyle, so they're like one take. And I'm working on getting more professional ones that don't have background noise. But you know, the background noise of life happens, so it's kind of a it's kind of a nice thing. So yeah, I hope that answered your question.
Yes, it did. I'm also a grandma, and I babysit my 3 grandkids all the time, so I can really relate to, you know, what you're experiencing also. I'd be really interested in that class on Sunday, you know, just briefly, you know, watch it. It seems like I have more time to myself on Sundays than during the week, and you know, because it's Sunday. But yeah, because if you could please just give me your contact information, or leave it, you know, with the girls to put in the chat line.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and put my email in right now, and then is email a good way for you to connect?
Yes, it is. That would be wonderful.
So there's my email there. It's just my name, Mrs. Karilily@gmail.com. And I would love to talk with you more about that.
For sure. You know, I would really like to connect more with you also, because I suffer from arthritis and some other issues, you know, that I really need help with right now. And I really enjoyed your session, you know.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, through the parts that I wasn't distracted of course. But.
Same here. I don't know if you guys saw my children are walking around, so we're all in this together.
I'll get in touch with you, Karilily.
Yep, Karilily.
I hope I said it right.
You sure did, and thank you, Tina. I appreciate you sharing.
Cool, for sure. Okay, you have a good evening.
All right, thank you.
Philip, you had a question. Do you want to go ahead and unmute yourself and ask your question?
Yeah, sorry, I had to turn down the other one, Facebook. Yeah, is it true that whenever a person is stressed or has anxiety, they build cortisol in those areas of the body? And will mindfulness help release the cortisol more effectively than trigger point injections?
So could you tell me a little bit more what you mean by trigger point injections, so I can make sure to answer you properly?
Like trigger point injections, you know, like in your back and stuff, where usually you carry your cortisol.
Oh.
I learned this in addiction studies.
Yeah, so, you know, I like to be real clear and state that I really feel like what I'm offering, and from what my teachers have taught me, that we're supplementing to whatever it is that you already do. So this isn't maybe a replacement unless you personally find that it's just as effective. I don't ever want to veer anyone. I've had clients say, hey, so can I get off like a medication, for example, for depression? I've had someone ask me that. They're like, oh, the meditations and the movement make me feel so good. Do you think I can get off my medication? And I'm like, well, that is first and foremost a question for your doctor or your healthcare practitioner, because while I have my personal opinions, I can't say that, you know, that's okay. So what we do, or what I'm doing here with mindfulness and movement and breath work, is offering a supplement to that. So I do have to share my personal opinion though. I've dealt with a lot of stress and anxiety, especially in my past, and cortisol buildup. And I just use this now. I don't use anything else, but that was over a lot of time. So what I suggest is, it is very true that it builds up in certain areas of your body, the cortisol, and most of us hold stress in particular in different areas. And whether the cortisol buildup isn't right here, but you're holding it there, and the cortisol levels in your body go up. And so the injections, of course, are going to be effective, but it is not going to hurt to add mindfulness into that. And if people are listening that don't have injections and get the trigger point injections, but also feel like the cortisol buildup, you know, and if you're not familiar with cortisol, it sounds like you are, Philip, but I'm just addressing the group. It's a chemical in our body that is naturally occurring, and we build up higher levels of cortisol when we have more stress or anxiety in our lives. And it's something that we all fluctuate in, higher and lower levels throughout our life, and or circumstance in our life. And it is very much true that mindfulness can help release and reduce cortisol levels in the body, which then releases and reduces stress and anxiety and depressions. But I am very careful to say that it's not like a 100% going to do that for you. It's a practice that takes time. And the more you do it, that's why I was going to say, try the 30 days and see how you feel, just 1 minute a day or more, and see how you feel. For me, when I forget to breathe deep or meditate, I definitely am more stressed out, and I feel it, and it affects my sleep. As we all know, high cortisol levels affect our sleep and our mental performance. Gives me a lot of brain fog when I don't practice this sort of breath work. So I say, yes, mindfulness does help release it. Does it release more than the injections? That I cannot answer fully, but it's not going to hurt you to add the mindfulness in and see if that improves releasing that to reduce the stress and anxieties or sleep issues or anything else.
After your session, I'd have to say that it helped me out a lot. So yeah, thank you. Like
That's
really
so awesome.
Thank you.
I'm happy to hear that. You know, it's a natural mood calming sensation. Yeah, that's what happens for me. I'm just kind of like, okay, everything is okay. And, doesn't mean I don't still have this and this and this going on in life, but I can actually change my mental framework, even if momentarily, on how to react to it and how you feel in the moment. So the more you do it, like they say, the more you focus on whatever you focus on, you get more of. It's a Marianne Williamson quote. I've always loved that quote because it's very true. So it's true with where cortisol buildup comes from. The more we focus on our stresses, the more we're going to have them. But the more we use the tools like this, the less we're going to have that. So whatever you focus on, you get more of. So if it worked for you and you felt good after that session, please, I encourage you to try it on your own. And it's free.
Yeah, I've tried also with a teacher before, and in one of my classes, and it was very effective because then she went towards a room, and then when you open that room, it was you facing your fears.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a little different, but it was still mindfulness, and it was very helpful actually.
Awesome.
It made you understand a little bit different of what your traumas and crisis, situation could be that you're holding in that you don't even realize sometimes.
Exactly. And that's a really great way to put it. It's things you don't even realize. I don't know if I said this earlier in the introduction, but it helps us to check our blind spots, so to say, and I've actually used that entering a room one as well. So there's all kinds of visualizations you can use, and some of them get, is that Were you talking to me to hear me better? Oh, to Philip. Okay. But there's all kinds of visualizations, and the one where you're entering in the room to face your fears is a little bit more in depth. And so that's kind of one when you're like when Tina was saying, do I work with people one-on-one? For me, that's something we'd take baby steps towards getting deeper, because in a group where, especially we're online, we're not all in the same room, it can be that can be a big that can be a big thing to open as a group until we're more intimate and we've worked together more. So today what we're doing is kind of a little bit of an intro just to give an idea. And it sounds like, Philip, you've dove into this already, so you can see that there are much deeper levels that you can go to with mindfulness, where you're opening that door and seeing your fears and what it is that causes these things, or what we're hanging on to still on the inside, or things we have yet to face that are in our subconscious. So it's pretty multifaceted, you know, it's pretty amazing. And it's just using your breath and your mind and being present. It's kind of mind blowing. And while you can work with facilitators, you know, which I am one and I do, you can also do this, like I said, at home, and it can be free, because we all actually have that inner guide. If you can hear it during the meditation, then you can think it, and you can take that at home, and you know, that's of no cost except your time. So thanks for your question.
Thank you for answering. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Is there anybody else that had any questions that they wanted to, or shares on how the meditation was for you?
As I was trying to run tech here in the background, I was following along, but it was very, yeah.
Oops.
I accidentally muted myself. I really liked the grounding piece, and it's something that I need to remember more in my daily life, is connecting back to that grounding piece. And it is something that's so simple that you can visualize in that moment when you feel your stress levels, and you can feel your breath getting shallow in those moments of stress. I feel that that's something I can definitely call back to.
Yeah, and that's the truth, Jermaine. You know, it's something so simple, and it's so easy to forget, right? Because life is just like, you wake up and there's so much to do, and just getting it into your routine, like I was saying with the jogging thing, you know, just building up to it and getting it to be a part of your routine, then the effects become more profound. And also, just kind of like Philip brought up, you know, he was in another mindfulness meditation where there was a different guided thing where, you know, the guide said, open the door. So the same is true with grounding. I just said I started with the roots for it being an introduction, because literally when we think you're grounded into something, roots is a common one that comes up. But some people feel more grounded when we talk about stepping into water. Some people feel more grounded when we're talking about like metal, or, you know, just there's sand, or standing on dirt, or standing on rocks, you know. It's endless, just like the sky, you know, it's endless. You can, that's a little distracting, honey. It's endless, you know. You can visualize anything that you feel grounded with. Like my partner likes to think of grounding, we think of a loose wire, right? When the wire isn't grounded, the electricity is just flying all through the wire. And that's literally what we're doing when we're not grounded. You're just kind of spinning out, so to say. And so my partner likes to visualize the cord plugging into the wall, or grounding out the wire. And that's how my partner meditates and grounds. And I think that's really interesting. And so whatever works for you, when you think of the word grounding and becoming more solid, or a foundation, I mean, gosh, you can picture a building, a house, a foundation. You know, you can picture anything. It's limitless, and it's powerful. It just shows how powerful our minds are to create this sort of personal wellness and connection and being present. So, and a lot of times when we're not grounded, we're not feeling present. You know, we're thinking about the future or the past, and meanwhile, life's happening right here. So it's important on many levels.
Yeah, I wanted to say thank you. It was a wonderful just grounding exercise, and I've done ones before where they're very similar for, just mindfulness and even manifestation. And they just really, they make me feel amazing afterwards. But like you were saying, I have to remind myself and I forget. And I really loved what you said about that there's so much more to it. It's not just about getting rid of pain. It's about getting rid of, all those other things that, feed the pain, almost like stress and anxiety. And so I really appreciate that, because it's realistic and it's so much more than just, getting rid of that pain.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to thank you. You were amazing.
Aw, you're so welcome. Thank you. It's my pleasure. Honestly, I enjoy. We all want to feel good in this life, or I think we do. But you're right. It's so much more about than just the main thing that we get drawn to, wanting to feel better or do better or wellness. A lot of times something will come up in life where we'll hit like a wall and you're like, okay, it's time for me to start taking better care of myself. But that point where we got to, whether it's the pain or some very traumatic experience, wherever it took you, it's not just that we're addressing, even though it was to want to heal ourselves or do deeper work. It's all that stuff that led you from there to here. And so you kind of break it all down and you see these patterns or these habits or these toxic relationships or even toxic internal chatter, is a big one. I think another one that I would like to share in visualizing your meditation is when challenging emotions come up and you're not feeling grounded, ground, of course, however you visualize that, a tree or water or rock, and visualize a color a color that represents how you'd rather feel in that moment. So let's say, I'll just make one up, red, I'm angry and I'm feeling like a thunderstorm and I'm like, and I don't want to feel that way. I visualize light blue, because for me, that's what I visualize, calm. So you think of the emotion you want to feel, and I want to feel calm. So I see light blue. So you literally visualize as you breathe in, because we can all feel the air, even though we can't see it, right? So you visualize that air as the color of the emotion that you want to feel, and you meditate on that. So that helps the distracted mind to let go of all the other thoughts and become present and visualize that color. So you literally flood your mind with that color. You flood your breath with that color. And that visualization of that color is a very powerful tool. And it makes your mind be like, okay, this is what we're focusing on. So all the other frantic part of your mind kind of falls to the side and you come into that color. And again, that whichever you focus on is what you get more of. So ideally you come out of it feeling the emotion that you're meditating on. So being calm. And that really helps a lot. Another one that Malia reminded me of when saying, you said something about, it's not just the pain, it's all the other stuff as well. Another really nice meditation to focus on is visualizing a garden, and whatever you water in that garden or tend to will thrive. And that can be the positive and the negatives, right? So if we start watering all the dramas and all the pains and, nurturing and paying more attention to that, well, that's your weeds. They're going to keep growing and take over your garden. But if you start nurturing and watering all of the positives in your life, or the positives you want to plant into your life, that's what will take over your garden. So that'd be your fruits and your veggies and your flowers in your garden. So you can picture your favorite flower, your favorite vegetable you're trying to grow as representing what you want more of in your life, or something that is in your life that you like, that you want to expand on. And then you can weed out the toxic relationships, the toxic patterns, the thought trains that aren't serving, your most high consciousness or what it is you do want to see. So the possibilities are endless. It's all about getting creative and using your imagination. And it works really great for kids too. Anyone out there with children in their lives in whatever form, from parenting, grandparenting, aunties, neighbors in your community, it's a great one you can do with kids, because we all know how creative we were as children, and it just enhances that aspect of your creativity, which is also really great for your brain when you're rewiring your brain from focusing on real pains that are for real, not to discount that they're not real, but to focus on what it is that you want to call into your life, or how you want to react to that pain or the urges, or, you know, whatever, fill in the blank. So it's powerful stuff. And it's just like a muscle, you know, the more you lift that weight, the more you get the guns. So you've got to meditate to get that mind. And it is a daily practice. And I think even for the most advanced mindfulness workers and practitioners and people that practice it at home, it's dedication and discipline to remind yourself to actually do it. Just like reminding yourself to drink water and get enough sleep. You know, it's a part of maintaining a healthy lifestyle. So that being said, be patient with yourselves. Don't expect yourself to become Buddha overnight. You know, we're all human here, and we're all here to learn and grow and do better. And that's just one little step at a time, one breath at a time, and just take it as it comes.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Karilily, for being here today. We really appreciate it. And yeah, I just want to open it up if you want to leave with any last words or advice or anything for anybody.
Yeah, I first of all want to say thank you to you all for having me here. This is something that's I feel very passionate about, and clearly you all do too, for creating this entire event. So I think that that's awesome that you're doing this. And I love the logo: educate, engage, prevent, reduce stigma. This is really powerful work that you're doing. And I want to give props to everybody that showed up. You know, just taking that step towards your own wellness is huge. And, you know, we're living in very interesting times, and I think more than ever, it's important for all of us to be aware of just how we can do the next right thing, you know, and that starts within taking care of yourself within, so that you can then take care of your community more fully, you know, and remember that taking care of yourself is a balanced act of giving and receiving. A lot of us give, and it's important to receive also. And the other way around, some people are more receive. So if you find yourself doing that, remember to give back. And that's a part of wellness as well, you know, finding the balance in your everyday life, which your breath teaches you too, because you have to inhale and you have to exhale. You can't just inhale and live, so you can't just receive and live, but you also have to give back to live. So I love that our breath teaches us that balance of life. So those are my famous last words, is just listen to your breath, and you'll learn a lot about yourself and about the balance of life and creating more wellness. And I love what you said: heal and work towards a healthy future. That was beautiful. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Karilily. I love that example of breathing in and out. We must balance. So thank you again, and we appreciated having you. Wonderful. We hope to work with you again, of course.
Yeah.
And yeah, we'd love to get your information so we can get it out to everyone.
Yes.
We have a lot of people interested. Before we go today, I do want to remind everyone that we just thank you for joining us today for this Wellness Wednesday, our first Wellness Wednesday for the Wellness and Recovery series. And if you want to get in contact with us or just stay updated on the event, remember you can follow us on Facebook at the Wellness and Recovery series or RX Safe Del Norte. And you can check out the RX Safe Del Norte website to learn more about us. And just remember that we do have an evaluation form at the end of every presentation, and we ask that you fill it out the best you can and turn it in, because that's an entry for our wellness raffle, which we're going to be having throughout the series. Again, every presentation will have an eval at the end that you can fill out, and you'll be entered into the raffle. And we'll be announcing the raffle at the end of this series. So thank you everyone for joining us today. And yeah, just thank you for being with us for this summit. We appreciate having everyone. And again, to our presenter, thank you, Karilily.
Yes,
so,
thank you.
Everyone have a wonderful evening, and thanks for joining us.
All righty. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.